Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name's Ray, the Market Trader, and before we begin, let's take a peek at our risk disclosure. So, I want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader is to be used as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, as partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of this information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure here, guys, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to the news, okay, and understand what we have coming up today, news-wise, that could have an impact in the markets. And I think it's, if I recall, is actually pretty substantial. So let's take a look. All right. So as I mentioned, as I hinted, we do have a fair amount of news today that could indeed move the markets. We have initial jobless claims. Again, that looks like they came in higher than forecast. Let's see. We have productivity, continued jobless claims also appear to have come in higher than expected. We have additional earnings. We have Eli Lilly earnings today. ConocoPhillips reporting earnings today. Those are the two ones that I see here. And then later this afternoon, we have some note year bond reports coming in. We have U.S. consumer credit coming in at 3 p.m. today. And then obviously we always have the risk of some sort of remark or comment related to the war, related to tariffs, related to something that could come from our president that could indeed impact us market-wise. Okay. So now that we've gotten through the news here, guys, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to the markets. Good morning, Keith. Good morning, Bink. Good morning, Dirk. Okay, so we're going to go now turn our attention to the markets here. We're going to go ahead and open up our platform here. Just going to open this up here. Let's see right here. All right, just to make sure that it's visible to everyone here. We're just going to move this over here. Just want to make sure that is indeed visible. Okay, getting some sort of alert. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at let's remove some of our drawings. Okay, let's move to the daily chart and let's take a look and see what kind of market are we getting today. So here we are. Looks like gold is indeed challenging the upper end of this consolidation pattern that we had discussed over the last week to 10 days here. We've been on a steady climb in the gold market. Okay, so we're coming up again on the edge, right on the top end of our wedge pattern that we've discussed already for some time now. Okay, and you can see that we continue to develop this ascending wedge pattern. Okay, so right now, all indications are that we are heading higher. The only thing that kind of stands in our way at the moment is the proximity of the area that it's currently in, and that this is an area where we've sold, where we have indeed sold in the past, right? We have our first test, our second test, our third test, not quite our third, but now we're right back at this level again here at 34.74. Okay. So while we are in a consolidation pattern, of late, we've been in a bullish kind of impulsive move, I would say, of late, right? If I just kind of, remove some of these context here, you can see these last set of candles here have been quite bullish. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and remove our drawings here. We're going to go ahead and focus our attention now on the 4-hour chart and see what the 4-hour chart has to say. Okay, so you can see the 4-hour chart, whether, regardless of whatever market you're in here, right? Whether it's the Asia market, whether it's the London market, whether it's the U.S. market, each one of these markets have led to higher prices here. Okay, so each market has taken the opportunity to participate in the upside. Okay, now we did have a little bit of maybe a little bit of a selling wick here, but that selling wick had absolutely no follow through to the downside. Okay, it was scooped up, and price continued to find participants to drive the price higher here. Okay, so let's take a look now at the 30-minute chart. We'll do a little bit of volume analysis here, but see where we are in relation to yesterday's price action. So we're going to go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile for Wednesday. Okay, and we'll locate the start of Wednesday here right around this time, and then we'll drag this across to the close of Wednesday, and you can see once it gets added here. If it gets added. Okay, we'll let that run there a little bit. We're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance range if I can. Okay, this platform is kind of slowing down here a little bit. Okay, maybe. Let's see. All right. There's our settlement price. There's our initial balance. So we're going to go ahead. So you can see, right? You can see. Hey, wetlands. So you could see during Asia, we had a nice move to the upside. I don't know. It's quite possible. I don't know. I don't know if today is the day where we break through that area. Okay. But what I do know is that we are in some sort of bullish move. Okay. So Asia, we had an extension. We came back to retest the high of that extension during London, and we found some buyers. Okay. So the initial balance break for Asia was to the upside. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this, if I can, to London and see what London had to say about this. Okay, a little bit slow here, guys. Let me see if I can maybe. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you can see that London actually technically broke to the downside. Okay. So Asia brought it up, London brought it down, but they weren't able to keep it down for long before they found some buyers. Right now, we're back inside the initial balance. We're back inside the initial balance range that's been established for the day. And so question is now, is this going to be an area where the participants who drove price to the downside, are they going to, there's a possibility of a failed auction here. Okay. But the failed auction tells us that, we can expect maybe price to come back to the highs here. That's what the failed auction is telling us, back to the high of the range. Now, we didn't really get to the high of the range before it looks like we found some sellers in this market. Okay, so we got up to maybe 3/4 of the range, and right now, it appears that we found some sellers. Okay, So let's go ahead and modify this to today's session. Okay, we're already about 15 minutes into the today's session, so you can see that we're developing somewhat of a rejection candle around the participant that drove price here at the start of London, right? So we had a very strong push. I would say relatively, if we went from 34.68 all the way down to 34.46, 22-point move in one candle. Okay, relatively strong. Okay, now we've come back to this level, and it appears that we found some more sellers of this market. Okay, so a little bit of a mixed bag, right? Asia's up. I would say London is neutral to down. Okay, and New York is still working through the initial balance range. We have another 45 minutes for that to complete. So we're going to go ahead and open up our anchor VWAP again. London is up here. Okay, we're going to move this over one here, right about there. Okay, and you can see that price is trying to make its way below, right? Trying to make its way below this VWAP from London. It's currently above the daily VWAP, which opened up uh, earlier. Okay, so kind of a little bit of a mixed bag. Price is above our VWAP, indicating that there is a fair amount of bullish price action in this market. Okay, so difficult to say at this point. We're seeing a little bit of a a little bit of a mixed information here, right? So we have not of late have not made a new high, right? We made a new high, and that was met with some sellers. We tried to rally to get back to those levels, and that's been sellers have stepped in again. So I don't know if we're coming into a market that could be maybe in a little bit of a repair day, maybe. Again, if you have to recall that when you look at the daily chart, we're in this kind of consolidation pattern, right? And the fact is that we are at the very highs of the range. So it stands to reason that again, this area could be resistant. That's kind of what we're seeing and witnessing again in the chart. So I would say that headed into the session, again, I'm going to have to, I would say I have to rely a little bit more in the way of maybe looking for some additional data, okay, from the market to tell me which direction they want to take the session. Okay. Right now, it feels like um, that maybe they're trying, okay, they're trying to bring it lower. But again, if I look at this structure, well, the structure still is to the upside. We may be developing some candles here, but we haven't really broken any significant structure to the downside as of yet. Okay, so until we can get it below 34.45, okay, then I have to kind of err on the side of the bulls. All right, because we are in bullish structure. So heading into the session, I would say that I'm maybe neutral to bullish. Okay, given some of the recent candle activity that we've gotten or received. I obviously like to see us get above 34.68. That would break some of these levels that we've been talking about of late. So yeah, neutral to bullish as we head into the session, I think is kind of where I'm at right now. Okay. And we'll have to see over the course of development of this initial balance, which direction do they end up taking this market. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market here, and we'll do similar kind of analysis. We'll start with the daily chart. And again, ask ourselves the question, what is the market trying to accomplish? Okay, so okay, there it is. So we went ahead and this is kind of remnants of a trade that I took or tried to take yesterday. That was not successful, unfortunately, because of this large wick. But in any case, we are in a market, right, that's looking, continues to look a little bit bearish. Again, we have this area that so far has been respected down below here around the 60, what is this level? I think it's around 64. Yeah, 63, 66. This area right here does appear to be somewhat supportive, okay? Somewhat supportive area. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that in green. All right. Now we are in some sort of bearish structure, okay? coming into an area that could be supportive around 64. We've been in this level before. We found some buyers of this market, and we're right back at this level again. Okay, over the series of the last week here. Okay, we can see that we've been in some bearish structure here on the daily. Okay, moving down to the 45-minute, not 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're going to kind of drill into these candles here a little bit. You can see again we are making lower lows and lower highs in this market, right? Lower low. Let's turn off initial balance here for a moment. Okay, so we got lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So again, we are in bearish structure now. Okay, in currently. Okay, now we've come down to settlement price, and so far, right? This is settlement. This is the closing price from yesterday. So far, we've reacted positively away from it. Okay, so we came down to settlement closing price for yesterday, the 64.35 level, and we've reacted away from it. But unfortunately, we have a 300-pound bearish gorilla on our shoulders that's continues to push to the downside, right? The bulls are having it's taking them quite a bit of effort just to make a positive move in the upward direction. Okay, so again, 4-hour chart, right? 4-hour chart indicates again continued momentum to the downside. Now, looking at the 30-minute chart, this is where we start to see maybe again some evidence that maybe there are some buyers in this market, okay, that are trying to push price higher, right? So you can see, right? You can see here that we have developed some sort of demand area. And how do I know this is a demand area? Well, look at what these wicks are saying to you, right? These wicks have come back to this down, have come to this level, and what happened? Well, it was bought, right? They drove price back to the upside. They have not been able to close back inside this level. So, any indications of trying to close below this low to continue this downside auction has, at least for now, been met with some buyers. Okay. Now, have we broken any significant structure to the upside? We haven't. Okay. We are seeing some indications that maybe we're coming off a demand zone. We still need to get above this 64.84 level, and then we have yet another level here above 65. Okay. So these levels we've kind of broken to the downside here to the left-hand side. If we look, we had this 65 level that was broken yesterday, retested and continued to the downside. So, and this is all a result of inventories yesterday. Now we again at the start of maybe the tail end of New York, okay, into Asia. Looks like we may have found some buying, okay, in this market. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see. We're gonna start with. Let's see if I can maybe get the fixed range volume profile going, because I am experiencing a little bit of slowness here on the computer. So we'll go ahead and drag this across here. See if it's a little bit more responsive. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you can see that we're on the low end of value, okay, from yesterday, right? Well, so we got into this area, held it a bit, came back down to settlement, and now we're kind of hovering at the low ends of value. Now, is this area going to offer us a reference level where we can manage our risk, right? If we could stay above this 64.78 level, well, maybe we can use this level or slightly below it as an area to manage our risk for a possible upside trade. Now, do I think that this is going to go to the moon? No. We are still in some bear side structure, but would not be out of the realm of possibility here to come up to this point of control, right here on the visible range, or here on yesterday's range. That would not be out of the realm of possibility, right? Just a little bit of a repair day. So maybe up to 65.80, maybe as high as 66. Okay, 66.11. is a number that I've kind of remember from yesterday's session. Okay. So market, while on remaining bearish on the higher time frame, we're starting to see maybe a little bit of evidence that maybe bulls have kind of come into the market a bit. But we need to continue, starting to make some build up some structure. And honestly, I'm not, again, until we can get maybe above the 66 level, above these levels here, I think we still are very much in bearish control. Okay. So while I am seeing bullish behavior, I'm gonna conclude here with more of a bearish kind of outlook. We're gonna be looking for some opportunities, maybe where I can maybe sell some strength in this market. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and add anchored VWAP here just to kind of complete our analysis. Okay. So anchored VWAP is also indicating that price is above that. So again, giving us some indication on the shorter time frame that maybe there is some bullish momentum behind this price move here, that we have some bullish participants. Okay. Now, if we do manage to close again inside this or remain above this value area low, and then eventually break above 65 and hold 65, well, then that could open up the door for maybe a rotation back up to the 66 level. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I have for the crude oil. We're going to go ahead and turn our attention to the equity markets. But before we go there, let's see. I'm going to see if I can turn on my initial balance here. Forgot to do that, and see where initial balance is telling us. We're about a couple of minutes away, or a minute away from the. So that's taking a little bit of time here to load. Let's see. Okay, so let's open up the Tokyo session, see what Tokyo had to say with respect to initial balance. So you can see that we're in the Asia session. Okay, we kind of remain on the upper end of the. Let's turn off. Let's turn this off here for a second. There's way too many lines here. Oops, I turned off. Okay. So you can see that we really didn't ever break, or we did break, but kind of hovered on the upper end of the initial balance range. We open up London. Okay, open up London, and London here. Okay. You had a nice extension on London for crude oil. Let's see. Is it adjust? It hasn't adjusted yet. Oh, Tokyo. Okay. I could see that right here, right? It's a nice little extension to the upside, right? And this did go to the 100% extension. So yeah, nice trade there. Okay. See why this is not adjusting. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead. Doesn't appear in the London session. Slow and steady. Yeah, it definitely was a grinder. Okay. Yeah, looking at London here, I'm just going to kind of eyeball this, since my platform is kind of misbehaving here. I'm just going to go ahead and manually draw the initial balance range. So this is the start of London right here. Okay, this is 1, 2 candles. So we had actually a rather narrow range here, right? So that's the high, and this being the low. Okay, right here. So we had a rather narrow initial balance range for London, looking at these two candles here. We broke to the downside and had, I guess, a little bit of a failed auction to the downside, and we rotated back through a rather narrow range. Okay, so London did not pick up where Asia left off. On the contrary, it headed lower. Okay. So let's see if I can open up my. This is still not behaving here. Okay, let's go ahead and let's see. Let's go ahead now and remove some of our drawings here, and we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to the equity markets. Okay. But before we go there, guys, just again, kind of want to remind everyone to remember to hit the like button, okay, smash the bell, make a comment or two in the portal. There's the initial balance range that we were talking about here, right? We had initial, but yeah. So encourage you to hit the like if this analysis is supporting your analysis of the markets, okay. Right now, we're seeing that we're getting a little bit of a rejection off of IB low, okay, on this initial balance of that was established in the London market, right? So it does appear that maybe we might be heading lower here, okay. Yes, exactly. I'd like I would very much like that, Bink. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the equity markets. We'll start off with the Nasdaq. Okay. Yes, 195 to go. Correct, Bink. Okay, so let's see if we can get my platform to cooperate here. It seems like it's getting slower and slower and slower. Hopefully, I'm not in the midst of some sort of. Let's maybe turn off some things and maybe give it a little bit of. Okay, so there's our equity markets here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and open up our daily chart. Okay, so daily chart is wow. Okay, there's our daily chart. Okay, similar to what we were seeing. Right, I think with the can't recall now. Was it the gold market? I think it was the gold. Okay, we've over the last 3 or 4 days, we've been on a steady climb. Okay, to the upside. Okay, we had one candle here that was bearish, but otherwise, the market seems intent. Right, we started to get some indication maybe the market was looking to break down. Okay, but we broke down, but really didn't break any structure to the downside. Right, we still remain in this channel. Right, we still remain in a bullish channel to the upside. Right, so we are trending higher. Right, the last two candles actually have been quite impressive. This one of the development variety, but this one, look at the amount of volume that has come in to develop these candles here. Right, and look at the volume in the past. Okay, so we had 150,000, all right, 165,000 buy market orders, okay, over sell market orders, right? On the plus side, followed by another 145,000. Okay, so there is a little bit of momentum, I would say, on these daily candles to the upside in the Nasdaq. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay, we're going to again take a look at this. Again, you can see, right? We developed a little bit of a demand area. We're starting to break some how we say, we're developing some structure to indicate that maybe there is some more upside in this market, right? We got to a new high here, and now we continue to drive higher. Okay, now the important area I would say continues to be around this 24th. Let's turn off initial balance here for a moment. So again, in order to really kind of embrace this move, we need to get above this 23,814 level. Okay, but nonetheless, you can see right right after, say, maybe the second half of yesterday's session, right into Wednesday, right, and Wednesday was relatively bullish. And now we're into Thursday, and we remain. We're building candles that continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So 4-hour also giving us an indication that there's more upside in this market. 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. We're just going to kind of zoom in here on these candles here. Okay. So this is the close of the session here, right here. Okay. We're just going to mark the close of the session right here. Okay. This is the close of yesterday's session here. Okay. And you can see that the market continues to grind higher. Okay. Nothing really indicating, right? Price is above our VWAP, right? We actually, a bit extended to the upside, right? Right. You see, we're well above VWAP. Okay. Now, if I go ahead and draw my fixed range volume profile here, okay, and I take yesterday's session, okay, yesterday's market here, start here, close here. Okay, we'll give that a little bit to kind of work on. You can see that price is above value, right? Again, giving us indications that people are willing to pay a premium, okay, to be part of this market. Okay, we're above settlement closing price of, okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance here and see what the initial balance has to say. So this is the initial balance for London. Okay, so initial balance for London broke to the upside. So we got a nice 100% extension to the upside during London. Let's go ahead and take a look at Asia. Asia probably gave us something similar. Okay, let's take a look. Yes, at the tail end of Asia. Okay, we got a nice break to the upside, but this is actually kind of carrying us into London. So Asia was a bit neutral, right? Didn't really get a break, I don't believe, or the break did not happen until the London session opened. Okay, so Asia didn't really offer any participants, right? They were kind of balanced. They were happy where our price was, and then London came in and drove price higher. Okay, so everything is indicating right now, right, that we are looking to continue to move higher in this market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our anchored VWAP just to get a sense of where the VWAP is here for London, and you can see that price is above that. I don't know exactly what happened to my EMA, but we're going to add it back if I can. Here, there's our EMA. What is that EMA for what? So 233-day EMA. Let's change that to a little bit closer to the market, to the 9-day. Okay. And you can see that we are hugging the 9 EMA to the upside here, right? You can see that the 9 EMA price is above that. Everything indicating so far right now of some further price action to the upside. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the ES. Okay, the S&P. Okay, we'll take a look at the S&P. We'll start off with the daily chart. Okay, again, looking at the daily chart, tell it, see what the data is telling us here. Sorry for the slowdown, guys. It's just my computer is kind of moving at a crawl space at the moment. All right, so here we are. We have our daily chart. We are seeing some evidence, again, similar to what we saw in the NASDAQ, of some bullish price action. We have, obviously, that's this level above us here at 64.50 that has the potential of becoming resistant. We've tested that level not just once, but twice. And now we have a series of candles that maybe is looking to maybe potentially retest that level here relatively soon. Okay. Yes. Some internet gremlins for sure. Okay. So daily chart, again, continues to be in some sort of bullish structure here to the upside. Okay. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart. we can see that we again uh, we're traveling pretty deep, okay, into this swing, right? We see that price is above our 9 EMA, but if the sellers were strong, we probably would not be able to retrace so deeply into this swing. Okay, so we're well beyond this 78.6 retracement level, right? So indicating that the sellers are not very strong, okay, in this market, okay. That maybe there is maybe a little bit of a buildup of momentum here, but nonetheless, right, we still are below this 6460 level, and we still technically are inside this swing. So there's until we can get above this level, there's always the possibility that we could have sellers potentially step into this market. We have to be wary of that. Okay. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart here. Again, we're making some higher highs and higher lows. You can see that we're hugging the 9 EMA, indicating that we are very much trending to the upside. Now, we failed to make a new high here, right? You can see that we had a failure candle, right? We tried to break to the upside. That was met with some sellers. And now we're creating maybe a little bit in the way of some sort of supply area or resistant area up at these levels here around 64.13, 64.15 area, right? So we got a little bit of rejection from this area. We have not been able to get back inside it. While we are above our 9 EMA, our 9 EMA is not necessarily sloping to the upside at this point, right? It's kind of flattening as well as the VWAP. So does that mean we're going to be headed into some sort of range in this market, headed into New York? I don't know. There's a possibility of that, right? Because we're not making a new high, and we're at least reacting away from this support area around 64.05. The question now becomes, can we make a new low? Can we get below this level? Then maybe we can come back down to the 6,400 level. That doesn't seem like out of the question to me, right? We're pretty close to this VWAP, right? Would not be a surprise at all if we came down to 6,400, retest the 6,400 level before we made any sort of additional advance to the upside. Okay. All right, let's open up our initial balance here. We'll give this here a minute here to see if we can get loaded. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. All right, so this is the initial balance range for the Asia session. You can see that the tail end of the Asia session and into the London session looks like some participants came in on the buy side, right? They got in on some longs. So we have a fair number of longs in London to the upside, right? Now, looking at this again, just ignoring the fact that we are developing a little bit of rejection away from this, right? I am drawing, say, my channel here, okay? So in order for me to really begin to embrace maybe a continuation move to the upside, I need to get above this bearish channel, right? I need to get above, yeah, very similar to being very similar to the NASDAQ, right? So if I'm going to embrace a continuation move to the upside, I need to get above this retracement or a little bit of a retracement that we're seeing here, right? Right now we're in this bearish channel. As long as we remain in this bearish channel, I have to remain open to the idea that maybe we could see a deeper sell-off, okay? If price breaks above this channel, then maybe I start to open the door to think that maybe we could get some sort of extension, right? And if I do get an extension, where could that go? Well, if I take the low end of this up into the top end of this using my trend extension tool, well, we have 64.33, right, as one level, and then we have that 64.50 level. Interesting. 64.50. Did we identify that level, right, using I don't know, from some of the higher time frame. I just always find it very interesting on how the markets are so symmetrical. What you find levels, right? You find these levels, and all of a sudden I take this Fibonacci tool, and all of a sudden, smack at the 100% level, right? We're right on it, right? So I don't know whether we identified this on the daily or the 4 hour. I believe it was the daily, right, we have a level on the daily, right, that the Fibonacci on the lower time frame is telling us that we could potentially reach. Okay, so assuming that we can get above this level, right, we have a upside target starting with 64.33, which is the 61.8% extension of this swing, or we can get as high as 64.50 and retest the highs. Okay, so yeah, similar to the Nasdaq, I would say that we are looking a little bit bullish. Okay, I'm kind of anxious to see if we are able to make a new high, if we can maybe break price can break this bearish channel to the upside. Okay, if we can't, then maybe we go maybe into a little bit of a deeper retracement. The 6400 level does look a bit appealing to me. I'm going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here, just to get a sense of where the fixed range volume profile is in this market. Okay, so let's drag this across here. Give that a moment to load. Okay, so here we are. You can see that we are on basically it would the value area high would be the low end of value for London. Okay, so we have a little bit of confluence there around this 63.80 level. Okay, right, 63.80 level. So if we pull back, which doesn't look like it's going to do that, but if we pull back, I would expect that this 63.80 level to be supportive. Another level, 6400. Okay, 6380, 6400 are would be some reference levels that I would use to kind of use as support. Okay, if we manage to break above this bearish channel, then I'm going to use the upper end of the channel to maybe as a rejection area, maybe to support a bullish trade. So ES does indeed look bullish. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Dow here. We're going to go ahead and again open up the daily chart and see what the daily chart is telling us. Give the charts here a moment here to load. Obviously, I need to reboot my computer here because it is behaving a little bit on the slow side. I do apologize for this. Been trying to remove anything in the background that could be slowing this down here. Wow. Oh, there it is. All right. So again, similar to the other equity markets, right? Similar to the other equity markets, you can see that we are starting to develop some structure here. We had a nice little sell-off, okay, leading up to this. We're starting to break some structure, right? We got price above VWAP sloping higher. We got price above the 9 EMA. That's also beginning to slope higher. But again, we are coming into some areas right here, right? We're not as high, I would say, right, as maybe some of the other equity markets. I would say maybe the Dow is lagging here a little bit, just like my internet, to the upside, right? So looking at the Nasdaq, looking at the ES, they're a lot further along in their up in this up move, but the Dow is also in a very similar move to the upside. Okay, taking a look at the 4-hour chart here. See if I can get this to load here in a reasonable time. Whoa. All right, there's our 4-hour chart. Okay, so we right, nothing really happened during Asia. Okay, now that we're coming into London, right? London kind of took the market higher. This one bullish candle wiped out any sort of hopeful sellers. This one candle got us above this range here. Okay, I'm going to pause this here for a second. Okay, so price is above our VWAP, price is above our 9 EMA, price is above settlement. Again, similar to the other equity markets, all indicating potential for higher pricing. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart here. Okay, just give this a second here to load. Whoa. Computer is not happy. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So again, you can see that price is above our settlement price. Okay. You can see that price is above our 9 EMA. You can see that price is above VWAP. Everything indicating maybe potential for continuation. Okay. If I draw my channel here, okay, again, right here's our channel. So we are in a bearish channel. Again, I'm going to be looking for maybe an opportunity for this channel to break to the upside. That would give me some indication that maybe we are going to continue to the upside in this market. Looking at the fixed range volume profile for Wednesday, we're going to go ahead and start off with Wednesday all the way to the close of Wednesday. And you can see eyeballing this, you can see that we're well above value from yesterday's price action. And in some cases, we might be a little bit extended at this point to the upside. While that goes ahead and decides to load here, we're going to go ahead and look at our anchored VWAP here and see where our anchored VWAP. We got a couple things kind of running here at the same time. It's gonna. All right. Yeah. Again, nothing in here is indicating to me that that we are not in some sort of bullish market. Okay, across the board. I would say maybe the Dow might be lagging here a bit. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I would say the Nasdaq, the ES, the Dow are all giving me indications that we are maybe looking at maybe further upside opportunities in this market. Okay. So let's see. See if there's any questions, guys. So I think I'm going to go ahead and close off the session, guys. I am experiencing a little bit of slowdown, but I would say that looking at the markets, I would say overall, summarize, I would say that the gold continues to look bullish. The crude oil is continuing to look bearish. And I would say that right now it appears that we're bullish across the board on the equity markets. Okay. So if there are no questions, I'm going to see if I can get my computer to behave a little bit better. Yes, Carrie, you too. Have an excellent day trading, guys. And as we're going to go ahead and close off the session, as we close all sessions, I should say, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day trading, guys. And we will talk again very soon. Yes, I will do that, Dirk. That is the very next thing I'm going to do. All right, guys, have a great day trading, and we'll talk again soon. You took a trade in silver last night, but got whipped out, not moving like GC. Yeah. I got myself, Bink, in a similar situation with platinum. Yes, we are risk managers. Yes, continue to recite that. Risk managers. Thank you for the review today. You're welcome, Bink. Yes, you as well, Bink. Have a great day. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and close off the stream. All right. Thanks again, guys. Smash the likes, smash the subscribe buttons, and comment away. Okay.